Steelers week. It's that time of the year already. I don't know about you. It just seems like this season is really flying by. I don't know if it's just because of this year and what's all going on and whatnot, but yeah, here we are already. And, even though I will be continuing to post stuff such as this,
Repeat! 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 We're going to the Super Bowl! We're going to the Super Bowl again! Super Bowl 50!
on my social media, I will say I do have somewhat of a mutual respect for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, as much as that pains me to say, it's kind of the same thing I think with OSU Michigan. I'm a Buckeye fan, but even though we kick the crap out of them every year, there's still some sort of respect just from the opponent's standpoint. You can hate them. You can hate them all you want. But there is somewhat of a mutual respect, and that's kind of how I feel, and I think a lot of people feel about this game. I hate everything about the Steelers. I hate 98% of the Steelers fans. I absolutely root for them to get obliterated every single week. But I'm very excited for this game, and I have a lot of friends that are Steelers fans. My best friend's a Steelers fan. His whole family's from that area, Steelers fans as well. Now, obviously, I didn't become friends with him because he is a Steelers fan. I became friends with him because he's a great person, most of the time. Wink, wink. Once we start talking about Steelers, arguing about that, normally that's where things turn south. But anyway, so I think for the most part, no matter what side of the fandom you are here, Browns fan, Steelers fan, or just an outsider who couldn't care less, just wants to watch a good game, I think you got to admit this is a really good and really interesting matchup. This is something that I said last week about the Colts game. This is going to be strength on strength. Browns' strength offense right now, so far, and then the Indianapolis Colts' strength was their defense. It's kind of the same thing with the Steelers. Their strength would be their defense. Browns' strength, obviously, the offense. Now, the Steelers, their offense is way better than the Colts, I believe. I don't think Big Ben is as bad as Phillip Rivers right now. And, as much as I wish I could say he is, some of the decision. I mean, Phillip Rivers, Indy, this video is not about that game. But tell you what, if the Colts put in Jacoby Brissett, I think they could hang with everybody. So, anyway, I think this is going to be a really good matchup. And let's just get into some of my thoughts on the game. Let's start with the Steelers. So, Pittsburgh Steelers are 4-0. Oh, by the way, before we even get into that, let's take a look at the AFC North right now.
Dancing in the moonlight, everybody's feeling warm and bright. It's such a fine and empty sight. Everybody's dancing.
Can you believe the Browns 4-1, the Ravens 4-1, the Steelers 4-0? Obviously, this season we're gonna laugh at the Bengals. We'll make fun of them, whatever. But once they start building around Joe, if he's still alive, that's the key. This division for a long time to come is going to be the best in football. I don't have time to go to every single team, but just based on what you have right now, based on your future, this division is unbelievable. And I've heard plenty of Ravens and Steelers fans say, hey, it's nice to see the Browns put something together. And thank you. I respect that. Like I said, despite the rivalry, whatever, there is a mutual respect. So, but anyway, so from the Steelers side of things, they're 4-0. Now, they did have that Titans game postponed. It wasn't canceled. It was postponed to a later point in the season. But they so far have – I've watched about some of every Steelers game. I'm not going to sit here and say I've watched every single minute of football they've played this year. But I really, really wanted to pay attention to them early on because everything I was told was that the Pittsburgh Steelers are a Super Bowl contender, deep in the playoffs. Um, the high-powered defense was going to keep on going, and then you get Ben back. Ben's going to play at a Pro Bowl level. We all heard it. We all heard the talk from Steelers fans. If you're a Browns fan, you know what I'm talking about. And so I didn't agree with that, but I also wanted to wait and see. I wanted to watch. I wanted to look for specific things. The Steelers are undefeated right now. And yes, that is an accomplishment, obviously. It's a week-to-week league. You got to find ways to win games. But as far as just what I've seen, I've not been overly impressed. And I don't want you to take that the wrong way, because it's not like I'm saying they flat out suck. But I'm very interested in this game in particular because I really do think this is the Pittsburgh Steelers' first really tough test. And I'm not saying that because it's my team. I'm saying that because you go down the line. You got the Giants. Yes, they had Saquon Barkley at that point. Yes, they shut down Saquon Barkley. But still, you can see where the Giants are at now. What was their week 2? Why can't I remember what their week 2 was? Texans? Was it the Texans? No, that was 3. What was their week 2? I don't remember. Anyway, they played the Texans. They played the Giants. They played who'd they just play? The Eagles. I gotta pull up the rest of this. I can't believe I forgot this. They have not played teams that are very good at all. And Steelers fans, I understand what you're saying. Yes, you still got to find ways to win them, but I think you even could admit you haven't had a very tough test yet. And, we can debate if the Browns are going to be a really, really tough test. Let's see here. Oh, the Broncos. That's right. And that was the Jeff Driscoll. I was trolling Steelers. Speaking of trolling, do you not see that masterpiece there? Anyway, I was trolling my Steelers friends about that. But anyway, you look at this list of games they've played. The Giants, the Broncos, the Texans, the Eagles. Those are not teams that you look at and say, oh my gosh, that's a good team win. I've just not been, I'm not necessarily, I don't think they suck. But you beat the Giants 26-16, 10 points, fine. Broncos, you beat by 5 points. Texans, you beat by 7 points. Eagles, you beat by 11 points. So they have not been super decisive wins, but you are winning. You know what I mean? I just want to see where because I seen the Eagles move the ball on the Steelers. They found ways, they attacked some weaknesses, and they got the job done. I've seen that over the course of the year. Now, the Steelers, I went into the season saying they have the best defense. I believe they have the best defensive players. So far this year, I've not seen them perform like the best defense. They're not performing as much as a unit. Where, like the Colts, their pass defense was just as high as their run defense. I believe it was number 1 and number 4 or something like that. I don't know where the Steelers stack up. I'm sure I'll get killed in the comment section over that. But as far as the Steelers offense, honestly, when you're attacking this Browns team, the Browns run defense is usually fine. They're not giving up huge chunk runs. Normally teams are just getting your 2, 3, 4 yard runs. And that's what the Steelers run game is. They're not breaking big runs. They're not going for the 10, 20 yard chunks. The Pittsburgh Steelers you're running up the middles, 2, 3, 4 yards, try to chip away. The Steelers' passing game is all underneath stuff. They rarely will take deep shots. My concern with this Browns defense is normally the underneath stuff is what killed the Browns so far this season. I go back to Washington. Dwayne Haskins, yes, he handed us about 50 turnovers. But what was working for Washington in that game was the underneath stuff, the crossing. Um, that's what the Steelers do best, and that concerns me because if you couldn't stop it as against a team like Washington, you got a lot of ways to go, and I just don't see that problem getting completely fixed by kickoff for the Pittsburgh Steelers game. Um, and as far as the deep shots go, honestly, Browns fans they know this pain. Here's what you do. If you're Big Ben, here's what you do. Let's say it's about third and eight. You're looking to get that first down, but also you're gonna try to chunk a few yards, more than that. Whatever. I don't know what I'm talking about. What I'm doing, if I'm Big Ben, is I'm gonna run some crossers over the middle, just because that's what the Browns aren't good at. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit here and I'm going to say, hey, 11. Yeah, you. Hey, look. You see number 23 out there? That white dude? Yeah. Yeah. Here's what I want you to do. Just run straight towards him and then just post off of that one way or the other because you're going to beat him by about 10 yards. Okay? Got it? Okay. All right. That's what I would do if I was Big Ben, because Andrew Sendejo is absolute garbage. He's always been garbage as long as he's been here this whole year. That goes back to day one of training camp. He's been terrible. The job was not for him to start. It was Grant Delpit's. And I hope they put Sheldrick Redwine out there on the field a lot more just to help in the speed in the backfield, or in the secondary, rather. So the Steelers' offense, I'm not too concerned. I'm just concerned about the crossing stuff, getting them open in space, not getting off the field on third down. That's really what concerns me about the Steelers' offense. Now, I do think the Browns are going to be able to get takeaways. Ben is not... Excuse me. Big Ben is not a... He's certainly not mobile, but he can move around within the pocket good enough. Over the recent years, the Browns have been able to get takeaways from Ben. Denzel Ward's been able to get some picks off of him. Myles Garrett, who honestly should be front runner for Defensive Player of the Year. He'll certainly be up there. It'll be him and Aaron Donald. And credit, Aaron Donald is a tough name to stick with, and he has done it every step of the way this year. So, I think the Browns will be able to get turnovers. This team, where they lack inconsistency on defense, they're able to put a Band-Aid over that with the turnovers. And in this game, I feel like on both sides, Browns offense, Steelers offense, whoever does, now this is an obvious statement, but whoever does not turn the ball over has a huge advantage. Because I think these two teams are very similar as far as how they stack up. Like I said, strength on strength. And I think you don't want to be in a situation where, you're giving them, you don't want to give up stuff, because the Steelers are a team that's going to take everything you give them. And you can't afford that if you're the Browns. So, but I do think this Browns defense will be able to get some turnovers. How much? It may be one, and that might be all it takes. But I do expect number 95 to get himself a turnover in this game. And by the way, Mike Tomlin, I've hated on him at times. I really liked what he said today in his presser, just as far as, being a head coach, taking responsibility, doing what you need to do. And he talked about the Miles stuff, and he said, we're not going to take that low-hanging fruit. I haven't heard, I don't know if media days happen. I think it's Thursday media day is for the Browns. I haven't heard any questions asked on that. But I can tell you this, none of the players, none of the coaches are going to say anything about it, but in the back of every player's head, in this game, it's going to be a little extra fiery, not just because of the rivalry, but because of what happened last year, how everything went down. I don't care what they say about, oh, we don't care, whatever. Yeah, you do. And you'll see it. I don't think necessarily you'll see more helmets swinging, but you will see a little bit of extra fire. You're probably going to get a unsportsmanlike conduct. It is what it is. But so that wraps up the Browns defense. The Browns offense, you know, this is going to be interesting to me because this game is yet another game that's going to be in the hands of Baker Mayfield. And in the first half, I went back and watched it again because I seen people talking about, oh, well, he actually didn't look as good as you'd think. His receivers were making plays. Yes, but you also have two number one receivers on a lot of teams. So that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's not a good, reliable thing. You can't rely on OBJ and Jarvis to bail you out on everything. But my concern with the Browns Sunday is Baker Mayfield this season has played a great first half in every game but the Ravens game. Great first half. The second half, they start getting conservative because they come out to these big leads. Then they come out and they try to run the ball a lot more than what was working. The play action stuff, just trying to get people open. They don't completely, but they start to turn away from what worked instead of keeping your foot on the pedal. And it's obvious that it's hurting because Baker Mayfield in the first half of last week was getting people the ball. You can say it was dumb decisions. You can say he shouldn't have thrown certain passes, whatever. I'll put in, maybe I won't. Will I? What is the time on this? 17 minutes. If I remember, I'll put in my favorite clip of the game here. So, as you've seen, that was just a simple pass. Drop back, simple pass, Rashard Higgins. I think if the Browns want to win this game, they're going to have to pass the ball. Now, hopefully, the run game can get going a lot quicker than it did against the Colts. I don't think it will. The Pittsburgh Steelers have absolutely shut down pretty much every running back they've played. Miles Sanders had one big chunk run of the game. That was it. So, can Kareem Hunt do that? Get a big chunk run like that? Sure, maybe, yeah. But what we need is chip off some yardage, find a way to get your 4-yard carry, whatever. So Baker Mayfield, as well as Kevin Stefanski, are going to have to play 4 quarters of offense. What we're doing so far this season is we're putting up a crazy amount of points. We're dominating in the first half, and then we go completely conservative, and then we don't keep our foot on the pedal, and then we have to rely on our defense to make plays because we let the other teams find ways to get back in it. And then special teams like Sunday against the Colts, you get a pick six, turn around, and then let the Colts returner, score a touchdown. You can't let that happen. You can't. So, can the Browns win this game? Yes, I do think they can. But this game is a game that Baker Mayfield, he does not have to be spectacular. He doesn't. He's just got to come out and not make mistakes. Don't cost him the game. Come out, find your open man, do what you need to do. And that's another thing. In the play action game, the Colts were just everything on the run, stacking the box, bringing the safety up on a blitz, not on a blitz, but you know what I mean. And the Browns Baker had 15 seconds back there on play action because everybody's over here and he's over here. So they're not going to have that in this game. Bud Dupree and TJ Watt are two very fast people you got there on the edge. And even if they drop back in coverage, they can still come up and get you. So I'm concerned in that light. I think they're going to have to get the ball in your playmakers' hands, let the playmakers be playmakers, but also do it somewhat cautiously. Don't let Baker sit back there and hold on to the ball as long as he had to in the Colts game, because the Steelers' defensive line is going to get to you. The Browns' offensive line has been outstanding this season. I think they're one of, if not a top 3 offensive line in football right now. But you cannot let Baker sit back there, get pressure in his face, and force him to make a tough throw. And he's done that pretty well in the past, but in this game, you're going to want to make things simple. You're going to want to take what they give. And I think Kareem Hunt's going to be heavily involved in this game plan as far as getting people open in space. Kareem Hunt, even last year, even though he was suspended a long time, I believe it was like the first 6 games, whatever, first 8. When he played last year, he was finding ways to get open in space and then getting the ball in his hands, going another 3-4 yards. That's huge. And against a team like the Steelers, you're going to have to find ways to do that. So for the Browns, Baker cannot play just a half of football. He has got to come out and play 4 quarters. He doesn't have to be spectacular all 4 quarters, but he needs to come out and he needs to not cost you the game. So far, he hasn't this year, but in that Colts game, just a few dumb decisions, and they were back in it. They were. So he said it himself. That was his worst game. I don't think so. I think the Ravens game was. If you're going just second, his second halves this year have just been terrible, and I think that's him, but it's also the play calling too. I don't know why they think, hey, we put up, like in the Cowboys game, I don't know what it was, but we were up like 20 points or something at halftime or whatever, 17 maybe, and then we come out and we're just like, whatever, doesn't matter. You can't do that. You can't do that against Steelers, and I don't think the Steelers have a high-powered offense, but Big Ben is smart. Even if at the end of his career like this, he's just technically a game manager, which Browns fans hate that term. It's not a bad term. He's not going to, for the most part, he's not going to make dumb decisions. So for the Browns offense, you're going to have to play somewhat aggressive. You're going to have to match. You're going to have to go toe-to-toe with that Steelers defense. You can't be afraid. You can't come out and, I don't know. But this is going to be a good game. This is not going to be a battle. This is going to be a war. This is a matchup of 2 teams who have really high expectations. Yes, the Browns have high expectations. They want to get to the playoffs. The Steelers want to get to the playoffs again. First place for the division. If the Ravens lose and the Browns win, I don't know who the Ravens play, but if the Browns win, the Ravens lose, they're first place in the division. With these 3 teams just going to war for that crown, every game matters. And can the Browns win this game? Yes. Can the Steelers win this game? Yes. Would I be shocked if you told me the Browns dominated? Or let me rephrase. Would I be shocked if you tell me that the final score was like the Browns win by big margins, like 17 points or more? I would be shocked. If you told me the same thing for the Steelers win by, 17 points or more. And I'm just using that as a random number, but I'm saying domination. I would be surprised. This game, I think, is going to be, a 3-point, 7-point game. I don't see it being more than a 10-point difference. I'm going to say, and I'm just going off of hoping I'm going to speak this into existence, I'm going to say the Browns win 30-28. No, I'm not. 31-28. I'm going to say the Browns win 31-28, last minute Cody Parkey field goal. Okay. Anyway, so like I said, I could see this game going either way. I've seen Steelers fans saying how it's going to be a blowout. It ain't. It's not. So, boys, this is going to be an interesting game to watch. I cannot wait to see it. I hope it's a great game. I don't hope it's close. I hope we blow them out, but I just want to see this offense come out and play 4 quarters of football. I want to see Baker come out and play 4 quarters. I want to see Kevin Stefanski play call for 4 quarters of football. Defensively, do what you've been doing. Get takeaways, find ways to get the ball back. Keep doing what you've been doing, scoring off those takeaways. That's huge. Don't make mistakes. You can't make mistakes in a game like this and go play hard. I mean, that's all you can do. So let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.